Jake Paul and Mike Tyson just got off alive and allegedly accidentally revealed the truth about their fight. With all of this happening, Most Valuable Promotions had to put a statement out denying rigged rumors. Statement from Most Valuable Promotions regarding fictitious claims that undermine the integrity of the Paul vs. Tyson fight. Following the wide circulation of incorrect and baseless claims that undermine the integrity of the Paul vs. Tyson event, Most Valuable Promotions would like to set the record straight regarding the contractual agreements and the nature of the fight. Rigging a professional boxing match is a federal crime in the United States of America. Paul vs. Tyson was a professional match sanctioned by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulations. Both fighters in good faith performed to the best of their abilities with the goal of winning the fight. There were absolutely no restrictions, contractual or otherwise, around either fighter. Each boxer was able to use his full arsenal to win the fight. Any agreement to the contrary would violate boxing rules. Trash talk and speculation are common in sports, and athletes and promoters need to tolerate nonsensical commentary, jokes, and opinions. But suggesting anything other than full effort from these fighters is not only naive, but an insult to the work they put into their craft and to the sport itself.
I said I was looking for Mike Tyson because he got me too. When he walked in that ring, I saw death in his eyes. I said, oh my God. I said, I see some scare. I was scared. I said, that don't look like nobody coming to play, right? And I was looking for that patented one in the body, uppercut.
Okay, so was I.
One to the body, one.
That was his, his left hook and his uppercut were the drop shots.
That's it. That's it. You see, and when he hits that bat, it's boom, 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 and you're like, I want to see that. I want to see that.
So why didn't we get one?
We didn't get it. Not a one. And then I heard somebody. I saw somebody read somewhere where somebody said it was in the contract.
No uppercuts.
No uppercut.
Seriously, I kind of buy this.
Yeah, they had it in the contract. Come on, guys. Why wouldn't Mike throw an uppercut?
People were questioning whether the fight was staged or if there were rules in place that prevented Tyson from giving it his all. So, what's the truth? Most Valuable Promotions, Jake Paul's promotional company, came forward to set the record straight. They made it clear that there were no hidden rules in place, no secret guidelines to hold back the fighters. Both Jake and Tyson were given the same freedom to fight however they saw fit. No special instructions, no rigging behind the scenes. It's all fake speculation according to MV Promotions. MVP Promotions' response is clear. The fight was real. No rules were put in place to stop either fighter from doing what they do best. They also point out that these kinds of rumors often follow big events, especially when there's a lot at stake. People can't help but question everything when there's money and fame involved. But at the end of the day, both Jake and Tyson had one goal: to step into that ring and compete on equal terms.
The only thing that bothers me is the continued kind of narrative and people saying the fight was rigged. This was a regulated professional bout by the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, the Texas Athletic Commission. And we were partners with Netflix, the biggest media company in the world, who's a public company. And for anyone to suggest that this was in any way a rigged fight, they're either dumb or they're looking for attention. And I get it, like putting up posts that, proof it was rigged, this was rigged. That gets you good engagement. And a lot of people comment and a lot of people like and a lot of people share. And we're in an attention economy. People say outlandish things to bring awareness to themselves. But it's a sad state of society that's where people want to spend their time.
It's not hard to see why these rumors caught fire. After all, how could a YouTuber turned boxer like Jake Paul really take on a guy like Mike Tyson, who had years of experience and a history of destroying opponents? That doubt, that skepticism is what pushed these rumors forward. But with the official word from MVP Promotions, it's time to let go of the idea that the fight was fixed. Jake Paul isn't new to the hate. Ever since he started boxing, people have been doubting him. They said he was just a YouTuber who got lucky. When he knocked out Tyron Woodley, they couldn't believe it. They couldn't accept that a guy with no professional boxing experience could knock out a seasoned fighter like Woodley. So they started talking. They said the knockout wasn't real, that it was staged, or that Woodley took a dive. And here we are again. The rumors are back, but Jake isn't backing down this time. He's not letting anyone make excuses for his wins. In fact, he's calling out the fans who can't seem to accept that he's actually good at boxing. Jake himself has said that people just refuse to believe in his skill. They did the same thing after the Woodley knockout, and now they're doing it again with Tyson. But why?
Some people were disappointed in Mike's performance. They thought Mike would give more. Because you see these videos of him going crazy hard on those pads, doing that shit.
Yep, and people are like, oh, it's rigged because look at him on the pads, but he didn't do this in the fight. Because someone is fucking punching back, you dumb fucks. Like, people don't realize my power.
That is true.
And my jab and my speed and my ability and my footwork to get out of the way of those punches. So then all of a sudden he's throwing at literally air.
Jake knows that he's always going to be under scrutiny. That's the price of fame, but he doesn't let it bother him. Instead, he uses it as fuel to keep pushing forward. He's not afraid of the backlash because he knows what he's capable of. Whether people like it or not, Jake is here to stay in the boxing world. The real question is, can anyone take him down, or will the haters continue to make excuses? This wasn't just about the Tyson fight either. Jake has been facing criticism since his very first fight. Whether it was the way he approached training, the opponents he chose, or the way he marketed himself, Jake has been the target of a lot of negativity. But one thing's for sure, he doesn't let it slow him down. Instead, he pushes harder, trains more, and keeps his eyes on the prize. Jake's confidence in the Tyson fight wasn't just about him being a fast learner or a strong fighter. He believes he's just too slick for Mike Tyson. Let's be honest here. Tyson's a legend, but he's not the same fighter he was in his prime. Jake Paul knew that his speed and agility would be key. Tyson is older now, and while he's still got power, his reflexes aren't what they used to be. Jake's speed, his quickness, and his ability to move in and out of range were, in his mind, the perfect counter to Tyson's power.
This is the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul drama explained. Oh yeah, it was scripted. It was leaked sometime yesterday after the fight. Just in case you guys missed it, Jake Paul won by a unanimous decision. Tell me not that does not sound suspicious. If you go back and rewatch the fight, Mike definitely should have won. But unfortunately, in today's culture, money talks. Sad part is Mike Tyson basically took Jake Paul's money to lose. But unfortunately, that's what happened. You know, even though that Jake Paul won, people are just clowning him. Saying things like this, Jake Paul should have went on WWE if he wanted to play fight. LMAO. Another person said this, it literally was just a cash grab. Why else would they play it on Netflix? Be so for real. And last but not least, yeah, because there's no way he lost to a Bizarre character. People are not holding back right now. People are also really upset that Mike Tyson really gave into the money over his legacy and are making memes like these because of it. Mike Tyson, after he and Jake Paul fooled us with this scripted fight. I mean, I kind of predicted this. I made a video like a couple days before the fight, and the way Jake Paul was acting and saying and doing things just sounded too scripted. But in conclusion, the fight was
Jake Paul didn't just show up for a paycheck, he showed up to prove a point. He wasn't just going to survive against a guy like Mike Tyson, he was going to win. And according to him, Tyson couldn't handle his pace. Jake claims that Tyson looked stuck in the ring. He couldn't get his timing right, and when he did, he wasn't fast enough to capitalize on it. Jake's belief, Tyson's age and lack of speed were the biggest factors that worked in his favor. But not everyone is buying what Jake's selling. Fans are skeptical. They say Tyson held back, and that's why the fight wasn't as competitive as they expected. They argue that Tyson had moments when he could have hurt Jake, but didn't. Instead, Tyson seemed to pull back and not fully commit to his punches. Some even say Tyson looked frustrated, repeatedly biting his gloves as if he was trying to figure out what was going wrong. That frustration didn't sit well with fans. It led to even more rumors. Maybe Tyson wasn't trying to win. Maybe he just wasn't motivated. And that's where the questions keep coming. Could Mike Tyson have done more? Was he really holding back? Or was he simply out of his prime? As the fight wraps up, the discussion is far from over. For Jake Paul though, the rumors and the hate only make him stronger. He knows he's got a long way to go in the boxing world, but he's more than willing to keep proving himself. And when the next fight comes around, he'll be ready. Will it be against a real fighter? Someone who can really test him? That's the question everyone's asking next.
Jake Paul is a boxer and a very vicious puncher when he connects with you. He has been training with professional trainers, boxing trainers for years. Well, the time has come to get in the ring with boxers. And Tommy Fury don't count. Nor the no-name dude that you caught with an uppercut and put him down in the first or second round. Nor is it the 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Now, Jake Paul is to be appreciated because this brother has shown boxers, fighters don't have to be at the mercy of promoters in order to put forth big boxing matches. If you got 70,000 to show up at Jerry World in Texas, well, imagine if he fought
But for now, Jake's message is simple. The fight wasn't rigged. It wasn't some sort of setup. He went in, he fought, and he won just like he always intended to. Jake's confidence wasn't misplaced. He knew Tyson's age and fighting style weren't what they used to be. Tyson was a powerhouse in his prime, but now Jake saw an opportunity. He believed that Tyson couldn't keep up with his fast, elusive movement. Tyson's biggest strength had always been his ability to close the distance and deliver devastating punches, but Jake thought he could neutralize that by staying quick on his feet, slipping punches, and staying out of range. Jake wasn't coming in to be a punching bag for Tyson. He was coming in with a strategy. He knew that Tyson had a lot of experience, but he also knew Tyson wasn't the same fighter he was in the 80s. At 54 years old, Tyson wasn't as fast or as nimble as he once was. Jake was younger, quicker, and more agile. He had the kind of speed that could frustrate Tyson, keep him on the back foot, and force him to react instead of being the one in control. Jake's plan was simple. Keep moving. Don't stand still and give Tyson the chance to land those heavy shots. Instead, use the speed to get in and out of range. And from Jake's perspective, it worked. He was able to make Tyson look static in the ring, unable to land the punches that he would have in his prime. Tyson, who once dominated fighters with his explosive moves, seemed almost frozen in place as Jake moved around him.
He actually outboxed the boxer. Jake Paul outboxed Mike Tyson like he said he was gonna do. Did you not? Like every single round.
No, and yeah, that, like, what do people say? Like, I told everyone what I was gonna do is to give him a.
In Jake's mind, the speed gap was the key to his success. Tyson simply couldn't keep up. Every time Tyson tried to close in, Jake would be out of range, making it hard for Tyson to land anything significant. This wasn't just a fight, it was a showcase of Jake Paul's belief in his own skills, proving to the world that he wasn't just a YouTuber trying to cash in on a fight. He was a real contender who believed in his ability to outfight even a legend like Mike Tyson. After Jake Paul's victory over Mike Tyson, the online chatter exploded. Fans, pundits, and former fighters alike flooded social media with their opinions. But one question kept coming up more than any other. Did Mike Tyson hold back during the fight?
And hopefully he could go and he got his 20 million and he's chilling and fine, I got it. I just don't want to see it again. I found myself sitting there praying he didn't get knocked out. Praying he didn't get. I was so happy it was 14-ounce gloves. But I was upset that the ring was bigger and wider because all you got to do is move around. Mike Tyson ain't trying to move around like that at age 58. So I want to get that out the way first.
Tyson, the former heavyweight champion known for his ferocious knockout power, seemed to lack his usual aggression in the ring. Fans watched closely, and many couldn't shake the feeling that Tyson wasn't trying as hard as he could have. Sure, Tyson was getting older, but he still got that punch that could change a fight in an instant. So why did it seem like he wasn't giving it his all? Some fans pointed to Tyson's body language. Throughout the fight, Tyson appeared to hesitate when it came to throwing punches. There were moments when he looked like he was sizing up Jake, almost like he was waiting for the right moment to strike, but it never came. Instead, Tyson spent a lot of time on the defensive, keeping his guard up and often biting his gloves, which some interpreted as a sign of frustration. For fans who were used to seeing Tyson aggressively hunt down his opponents, this behavior was a red flag. Why wasn't Tyson going for the knockout? Was he holding back on purpose?
Just what, influencers who decided, yo, I want to box, and now 4 years later, you get to fight Mike Tyson? Come on. Come on. There's people that's been paying their dues all their life and never get a chance like that. You understand what I'm saying? And you could just cut the line like this. It's because this is entertainment. This is, you know what I mean? It's like WWE.
Another thing fans noticed was Tyson's movement. In his prime, Tyson was known for his speed and ability to close the distance quickly, but in this fight, he seemed slower. He wasn't closing the gap between him and Jake as effectively as he used to. Was it age catching up with him, or was Tyson deliberately not pushing the pace? Some fans felt like Tyson could have pressured Jake more, landing his heavy punches, but instead he seemed almost content to let Jake control the tempo of the fight. Fans who followed Tyson's career closely weren't convinced that age was the only factor. Many felt Tyson could have still done more. Tyson's experience in the ring is unparalleled, and it seemed out of character for him to let someone like Jake Paul dictate the fight. His defensive approach, combined with the odd moments of hesitation, led some to believe that Tyson was deliberately not going all out. Maybe he didn't want to hurt Jake, or perhaps he wasn't fully motivated to engage the way he used to. But then, there was the other side of the argument. Some fans thought that Tyson simply wasn't the fighter he once was. Age, training, and ring rust were factors that couldn't be ignored. Tyson hadn't fought professionally in years, and it showed. While he still had the experience and the power, his timing and reflexes weren't what they used to be. In their eyes, Tyson wasn't holding back, he just wasn't able to perform at the level fans expected.
Like his knees were like really. I was like, I'm not worried about his head. I'm worried about like an ACL, like a knee popping out or something like that. But it is funny though. Like after the fact, everyone was like, "Oh, told you so, knew it." It's like nobody was saying that before the fight. Before the fight, he was like, there were people being like, "He's old," but everyone was like, "Maybe."
It's boxing, right? It's like you got a puncher's chance. He might land one.
It's the only sport. No other sport in the world would you go watch a 60-year-old do it.
Right.
Like you know it. You know everyone's washed up. You wouldn't.
I don't even think it's boxing so much as Mike Tyson.
It's the only guy in the only sport. So, like, that I give him.
Regardless of the reason, the fight left many with unanswered questions. Tyson's lack of aggression created doubt in the minds of fans, and the idea that he held back became a popular theory. It was hard for some to believe that the same Tyson who once took down some of the toughest fighters in the world could have been outclassed by Jake Paul, a YouTuber turned boxer with far less experience. The speculation grew even louder when Tyson failed to land any significant shots, and Jake controlled much of the action in the ring. The fans were split. Some believed Tyson was simply too old and out of practice, while others couldn't shake the feeling that something was being held back. Tyson, for his part, never came out and said anything that would confirm the rumors, but the questions lingered. Was this a case of Tyson just not having it anymore, or was there something else at play?
Day 4, it was okay, but you don't know what you got in store, baby. You got to face the God of War. And get ready, baby. Fire in the house.
The Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight wasn't just a spectacle for the fans, it was a massive payday for both fighters. The reported total earnings for the fight, a staggering $60 million, split between the two of them. This kind of money isn't exactly unusual for high-profile boxing events, but it's certainly impressive considering the unusual nature of this matchup. After all, Jake Paul is a former YouTuber turned boxer, and Mike Tyson, while a legend, hadn't fought in years. But the money didn't just come from the fight itself, it was the result of months of hype, promotion, and the crossover appeal that both Jake and Tyson bring to the table. For Jake, this fight was a major step in solidifying his place in the boxing world, but it was also another lucrative opportunity. Jake had been building his brand long before this fight, turning his YouTube fame into a business empire that includes merchandise, sponsorships, and his boxing career. But the Tyson fight was a whole new level. By bringing in a legend like Tyson, Jake was able to pull in fans who might not have followed him otherwise, and this expanded his audience. The pay-per-view numbers were huge, and with the sponsorship deals and ticket sales, both fighters ended up with enormous payouts.
One of the biggest names in boxing right now. Absolutely, because Mike Tyson is getting $20 million and Jake Paul is getting around about $40 million for their fight. These are not 100% confirmed, but when you look at the ballpark figures of boxing matches these days, it looks very much in line. And it asks the question, how big of a star is Jake Paul? And the truth of it is massive, because whether you like it or not, whether you think he's skilled or not skilled, if you're having a fight against this man, you are going to have a big payday. Jake has done a fantastic job of bringing over his mainstream audience into boxing and also branching out into older audiences.
On Tyson's side, the fight was a financial boost. Tyson, despite being a retired boxing legend, has continued to stay relevant with his podcast and various endorsement deals. But this fight with Jake Paul provided a massive payday for someone who hadn't fought professionally in years. At 58 years old, Tyson was no longer in his prime, but the draw of his name was still strong enough to land him this kind of deal. The biggest question was whether Tyson's performance was a result of age or something else entirely. Fans speculated that Tyson may not have given it his all, and if that's true, it would mean that the fight wasn't just about boxing, it was a show for the fans. Either way, Tyson walked away with a large paycheck, and Jake Paul came out looking like the victor. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.